This is Andy with the Chosen Prime with a quick video review of ToyWorld TW-C05 Shovel, otherwise known as their version of Masterpiece Scrapper, the Constructicon Scrapper. Here you can see his box is rather large, and I'll bring in the other release, Concrete or Mixmaster. And here you can see the box is actually, once we get all 6 lined up, they'll make one piece of art in robot mode. But then additionally, here on the side, we'll be able to see, if you stack them this way, you'll be able to make Devastator. Here you can see the legs as they are right now. So we'll go ahead and open up this box. It's got a flap here, and there's foam on the interior. You get a set of instructions. You get a bio card. You also get this little packet here, and inside of it are some pads that I assume we'll be able to use like anti-stick pads to be able to stick to the bottom of the feet to make it more stable. But then here you can kind of see there's a nice foam box, and if we open this upper layer, here you can see the figure inside. So we'll go ahead and pull him out in his accessories. Here you can see that he's quite large, but you get the figure, you get his gun, and then you get the chest shield for Devastator here. So we'll go ahead and go on to some vehicle details. Here's Shovel in his vehicle mode. As you can see, his wheels roll. His wheels are actually rubber, and they actually have a bit of a squish to them, which is kind of interesting. Almost like they have a little bit of air in between them. And so they roll real nice. His shovel here can articulate, move up and down. And all the joints on these figures are very stiff, and you can kind of tell that's for when they're in combined mode. This canopy can move back and forth. And so overall, it's a really nice looking payloader here that homages the original G1 toy, just much larger and scaled up. The gun that he does come with, according to the instructions, is supposed to be able to peg here, and this peg here, peg into this hole here, but I haven't been able to get it to stick. But then you can take, this wing part here, which actually rotates in a bunch of different ways. You can rotate the wings up, you can move these little guns, the wings actually extend. So you have a whole lot of options, but if you want to, you can come to the underside here, and these 2 peg holes underneath of the wing can peg on here. And so if you want to homage the attack version of Scrapper from G1, you can do that and get the wing there on the side. As you can see, there's not a lot of nice detailed cut out in paint. Silver, some gray here, pistons. Just overall, it's a really nice job that ToyWorld's done with this version of Scrapper. It really looks like the G1 toy. So we'll go ahead and transform him. So to transform Shovel, first we just go ahead and unpeg the arms here from both. There's a peg here and then a peg on the side just to move the hands and the arms forward, and do it on both sides. Again, just pull out and push down. Next we come to the back here, and what end up being his kneecaps, we'll go ahead and unpeg them from the back of the vehicle and pull them out of the way. That lets us then go ahead and lift up these panels to have access, which then lets us actually lift up another set of panels here, this laying inside of the legs. With all this now free, we can go ahead and split the legs. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and make sure you have clearance and go ahead and rotate out the leg into place. Okay, we'll do that on both sides. Just make sure that that panel's out of the way. Next we come to the feet. We can go ahead and close up the back of each leg. Now we can take this panel and we can unfurl that part of the foot, ankle it down, go ahead and peg this all together, lift out the foot, and essentially there is one leg done. So go ahead again and unfurl this part, ankle to ankle down, rotate this in. It all pegs in securely, and kind of these panels kind of nice hide space. Move the foot. And then finally these little pieces here fold over and peg in as kneecaps. And there are his legs all done. Come to the back, go ahead and rotate down the canopy. The entire shovel mechanism will kind of move back and out of the way. And what's nice, a nice little bit of engineering, and it's kind of hard to see, there's actually a channel here for the arms. And so what you do with the arms is you go ahead and you pull them out, you lift it up, and then pull it back, and it'll kind of put it into position. Again, you do that on both sides. You pull it out a little bit, which lets you have access to that channel. Slide it up and slide it back. Go ahead and pull down this chest to flip up the head and rotate it around. And you get a nice G1s head with some nice light piping. All that's left now is to open up the arms. So go ahead and open up this panel and then flip out the hands. Now they are individually articulated fingers, so they can get stuck. And so I do recommend is when you are storing it in vehicle modes, have them rotated upside down with the thumb kind of sitting either above it, like this, or to the side. And that's so that you have an easier time kind of folding it out when you're transforming them. Come to the other side, open up the panel, flip out the hand. Again, it can get stuck. And it's a bit, all the joints on this guy are very stiff. Part of the problem with these initially is that they're actually, when they rotate back in, they kind of lock into place. They kind of snap into place versus being loose. And so the first couple times transforming, you may need to use a tool. And as you can see, I actually was able to not use a tool on this side. And we just make sure we pull the arms, the shoulders out to the side, to the full width. And there is ToyWorld's Shovel in his very impressive robot mode. Shovel actually has quite a bit of articulation and detail. Universal hips that are very strong. He does have ratcheting knees. They're almost double jointed, so you can get some poses that way. Very strong. He does have really deep and strong kind of pivots here for a toe in his foot, so you have a whole lot of different options as far as setting him up that he'll stand securely. He does have individual fingers that just have, they're just on little ball joints, so you do have some, posability options and they do rotate. Whole lot of activity or options as far as the shoulders, forward and back, lots of pivoting options. His head is on a ball joint, very stiff ball joint. And as far as the gun is concerned, there's actually a little slot here in the gun, and versus just sliding into the hand, there actually is a little channel peg that you can take and just peg it in, and then he'll hold his gun securely. To transform Shovel into his leg mode, you first need to get him into his vehicle mode. And then what you do is there's actually two tabs here at the top of the shovel, and then peg holes here in the blade where you want to fold them up and make sure that they lock into place. Go ahead and move the shovel so it's positioned like that. We take the arms and we unpeg it from the canopy or the side of the vehicle. We do that on both sides. Just unpeg it from here and rotate them down. Then this goes ahead and it just folds out to kind of cover in the space and then peg in. Same thing over here. Just unfold it, peg it in. And then these arms, there's a peg, kind of a locking peg here, and a this friction peg here on the side that you would just go ahead and peg it into place and it'll hold it securely. Same thing on the other side. Go ahead and peg it in securely. The tires here actually have a little bit of a pivot, so you just push them inward and downward to kind of pull them further in. So you can kind of see this one's lower. Do the same thing on the other side. Just push it down. And essentially there is Shovel in his giant leg mode. So as far as posability and leg mode here, and we move this down if you want to. There's a pretty strong pivot that uses the pivot on in his chest that you can go either side, and actually with his waist you can twist a little bit too. So if you want some nice articulated poses, you can do as such. The way that everything locks together and how heavy this guy is, it's just he's very stiff and secure. And then again, you'll have a nice deep ankle tilt and kind of bend and such. When you get to the final side. We do not have the version of long haul yet to be able to show how it locks into these pegs, but then you can see there's 4 pegs here that'll lock him securely. But overall, this is just, he's really nice and sturdy and huge here in his leg mode. Robot mode comparison with some scrappers, TFC Structor, ToyWorld's Shovel, and then the Combiner Wars version of Scrapper. As you can see, the ToyWorld one is much larger and more in scale with what I would consider a masterpiece. Combiner award scrapper is nice, but of course you have limitations with no elbows and basic articulation. And just overall, the design, paint, and fit and finish, I think, of the ToyWorld effort really fit what I would consider a good masterpiece version of Scrapper. Vehicle mode comparisons. Here you can see that Shovel is considerably larger than the other Scrappers in their vehicle modes. Here, Combiner War Scrapper and TFC Toys Structor. You can see that the detailing and the paint and the overall kind of authenticity to a Shovel kind of look better here on Shovel. And I think you can see that I feel that this is definitely more masterpiece styled and scaled than the other two. Leg mode comparisons for all the versions of Scrapper. Here we got TFC Structor, Shovel, and then Combiner Wars Scrapper. As you can see, Shovel and this version of Scrapper are roughly the same size. You do get ankle articulation with the Combiner Wars one, but it is a bit hollow. But then you get a nice deep and strong bend on the one from ToyWorld. And just overall detail-wise, I think it's going to be a little more secure. And so it's going to be a really nice, massive Devastator once we get the full ToyWorld set. Robot mode comparison for Shovel with another Masterpiece car, Autobot car. Here you can see him next beside Prowl. According to the show model, the Constructicons were as tall as the Seekers, which was a bit taller than Prowl here. And you'll see that when they get into vehicle mode and the comparisons there, this size difference here makes more sense, but you can see that they still look great side by side as part of your Masterpiece collection. Shovel and Prowl in their vehicle modes. Here you can see that Shovel is considerably larger as a construction vehicle than the police car that Prowl is, and that makes sense considering construction vehicles are a lot bigger than most cars. And so I think Masterpiece scale-wise, I think Shovel does a great job of being a Masterpiece version of Scrapper. ToyWorld Shovel and Concrete in the robot modes, Scrapper and Mixmaster respectively. As you can see, they look like really great homages of the G1 Decepticon Constructicons. They just, from the detail, the paint, just overall, and then once we get the full 6-member team of the Constructicons from ToyWorld and their combined mode, I think we'll see a really great effort from these guys. Shovel and Concrete and vehicle mode comparisons. Here you can see that they look pretty good next to each other as far as nice, massive, Masterpiece-scaled construction vehicles. And just overall detailing-wise, they just look great side by side. One final comparison here with ToyWorld's effort for Scrapper amongst some other Masterpiece Decepticons. You can see that he looks really great as part of the overall Decepticon crew. I think ToyWorld's did a really good job here with their Shovel of homaging G1 Constructicon Scrapper, from the head, the design, the overall way he's built, and just the size and design. I think he looks really good. Once we get the full combined version of Devastator from ToyWorld, I think we're going to be very impressed and really have a nice Masterpiece-scaled Devastator available to us. Shovel here is currently up for order at the Chosen Prime, and I recommend him, so take care.